raw materials to carry international. Apart from that, we have many tourist places like Kailash Giri, Araku Valley, several beaches like Rishikonda, RK Beach, Yarada, and many museums like Submarine Museum, Natural Museum, and not only that, interesting food also you can find it out. And the interesting part is people who live here have come from different parts of the states. Why? Because in India, Visakhapatnam has uh, a unique combination of industries, especially steel, naval dockyard, HPCL, BHPV, a lot of interesting industry type of infrastructure is already been there from almost like 40 to 50 years back it started. So the people who traveled from different places like north, south, or far from Assam, you you get to have a different combination of lifestyle to live here. And also the Vizag is known for its availability. I mean availability in the sense, say for example, if you take any other metro cities, if you want to purchase something, you need to travel along. But here you can find anything in a radius of 3 kilometers. So, oh, someone have written my introduction too. Cool, cool. Cool. So, thank you so much, Lila, for noting down these points. Um, am I with you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the Prapun, you can join our history club once and you can tell more about Vishakhapatnam.
Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah.
So one of the finest place, what we call is Arku Valley, and you have these Burra caves, which are naturally uh, created, and also it is also called the Uti. I mean, for Andhra Pradesh, it is a Uti. I mean, it is above like 4,500 square feet above the sea level. So all the view, or else you get to feel of living as if you are in Uti kind of a places. The climatic conditions would be really amazing. So that is one biggest reason why it is called as City of Destiny.
And
And
it is
a lot of
also
other
called
things.
as Jewel of East Coast.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
that is
with this we will stop. We have created a lot of curiosity to visit Vishakhapatnam.
yes,
So
yes.
let's start. So today we will meet Prapun. Prapun has been Prapun is an aero modeler as hobby, and then also he has been working on aero modeling for some time, and then he is now not into that. He also shifted his mindset from job seeker to job creator in as his part of career journey. He also worked in sales, and his childhood is also interesting. How he made his childhood skill as career, yeah, how that skill helped him to change his mind from job seeker to job creator. That is what he shares. So let's hear from his words. Prabhu, over to you. So the
Thank
flow is
you.
like that. First, he will share about his childhood, then about his career experience and entrepreneurship. And also then he will talk about aero modeling, which was his passion. So if you have any questions related to that, you can post it. And if you want to ask as he is sharing, you can also ask. Yeah. Over to Prabhu.
Thank you, Leela. Thank you for keeping a structure for me, helping me. Okay, fine.
And stop
Um,
sharing the screen.
yes, yes. So first and foremost, it's all about childhood. So I, I joined a school called St. Aloysius, and it is almost 45 to 50 minutes an hour journey from my place to school. So I used to travel in a RTC bus where I used to interact with people who sat beside me. Prior to that, what I was doing is I was also observing a lot of things, also interacting with people who are beside me, and which helped me to find out that somewhere I belong to a person where I can sell things, where I can interact random people and also can understand their from their perspective what they're looking for, and that is how I ended up in sales domain after my immediate 10th. So I started my career very early at the age of 15, and I got to experience different domains. When it called different domains like sales, marketing, and uh, like uh, upsells kind of a thing, and also industry specific sales. All these things which I was doing it. And if you okay, upsells. What is upsells? Upsells is something. Uh, okay, this was when I was working with Nokia brand. We have different outlets like A, B, C, and A outlets are the one who have bigger high-end models. But whereas B and C outlets maintain very little quantity of high-end models. Where I used to go there and give a lot of information and help them understand why you need to keep these kind of models also, so that these kind of models and all can also go in your outlet. And this is where I was increasing the volume. I mean, I was focusing on both volume and units wise. So this upsell has helped them to make better revenue also. So that is
So
upsell.
you mean to say you had knowledge about the product which helped you to increase the sales?
Yes, yes. I mean, generally people have this kind of a fear, like most of the high-end handset is not a fast-moving kind of a thing. For to have that fast-moving, they need to hold some kind of knowledge how to use, what are the specifications, and the pricing cost, how you need to pitch, this kind of a things, which I was giving them a knowledge transfer kind of a thing for B and C outlets. So this was way back in 2007, 2006, those time when the Apple haven't launched. I mean, when the market sale was above 80% for Nokia. During that time, we have only the sales of physical, like outlet based, nothing online, no chance of high-end models like screen, touch screen, nothing was there. It's all about keypad, like you have this N series, Nokia that 6600 or 7610. These kind of premium models were there, been there back then. So that is where I started my career into completely into sales domain and into a telecom sales. Because back in I started in the year of 2003 somewhere, where I was focusing on CDMA technology. So this sales back then, it was a telecommunication boom, like everyone looking for this handset to have that, from the conventional of telephone of wired telephone. Instead of wire, everyone want this kind of a feel where they can hold, where they can travel and also speak to their relatives or whomever. So that is an opportunity for me to enter into this domain, whereas I can gain some experience along with my studies. So that's why I choose to join a half day college, where I was going half day for the classes and second half only for working. Something where I was exploring different experiences. Not just sales, I was also part of different other communities also, where I was just seeking some information, like I was doing some internships kind of a thing. So it was started very early to me. And uh, coming to NCC part, this happened way after when I started my graduation, and aeromodeling has changed my complete perspective when it comes to technology or flying, understanding the flying concepts, and also a lot of initiatives which we have taken back then. And for your glimpse, I'll start with a video where you will get to know what actually a aeromodeling is. Okay. Just give me a second.
You,
Yeah, Lila,
yes, yes. You also would like to share what skills help you to understand the concepts, and maybe after the video you can just share.
sure, I'll do
Yeah.
that. So the video on the screen is a typical flying structure. I mean, flying start. It will be. Just we'll watch for 2 minutes. Try to understand like what are the maneuvers people are trying. I mean, how they're showing their skill set. If you observe till now, he was only flying. He's trying. I mean, he's maintaining a level of 6 feet height, and next comes up, climb and dive. And there are several other maneuvers also. Just go. How is it?
Yeah.
There are a couple of questions also, Prapul. Is
Okay.
holding the plane, is he holding the plane with a string like a kite on steroids? What, and then what's the importance of flying at certain distance?
Got it. So the first and foremost, in aero modeling, we have almost 4 to 5 different models of flying. So the first one is control and aerobatics. The one which you have shown is control and aerobatics. And as someone rightly pointed out, it is flown by with the help of string. where the person hand, where the pilot, the one who is in the middle, holds and controls with his hand, and you have like this kind of tool handler where you can control up and down movements, and this up and down movements are directly connected with the tail plane. In a aircraft we have something called a total body, and this part is called, last part is called tail plane, and this tail plane has a elevator is the one which helps the aircraft to either lift or get down. You basically up, when it is up, the tailplane is little bit elevator is up, the object gets in the air, and when it is down, your object will always, your object tilt to bank down. So that is how they operate a aircraft. And the second question, why certain distance? Yeah, so when you do this aerobatics, the model need to be at a certain distance so that it would not come inside. Because until unless if you be in a safe place, you wouldn't able to do those maneuvers. So people have designed like something, you need to have a length of minimum 15, 15 feet uh, distance, so that the object can be can fly freely, with where your maneuvers can also be shown clearly to the audience. So that's how the distance has been maintained. And the other part is, okay, okay. This is not my career at this point of time. It's just a hobby, and this hobby is very expensive. And how much time did it take? Okay, that's an interesting question. So to build an aircraft, it will take somewhere around between 4 days to 5 days, because of you need to do a lot of scrubbing kind of a thing. Like I'll show you one of the other videos where you can also understand how that happens. So as I mentioning, there are like five different types of flying now. So first is control and aerobatics, then control and speed, then comes RC, which is remote control, completely operated by remote control. And the fourth one is glider. In glider, what happens is the engine only runs for 10 seconds. And after that 10 seconds, in this 10 seconds, you need to make sure to reach the maximum height in the air. Once it reaches 10 seconds, you need to switch off your throttle. Throttle is nothing but your engine. And then you need to glide. You need to glide. As long as you glide, the time you maintain your flight in the air, that is how people calculate that you're a good pilot. And you also, in a competitions, what we have is we have some dedicated space where we need to ensure that it lands exactly in that space. If that is it, we get a we get first prize, is something how they design it. Okay. What made you interesting in this expensive hobby? Okay, fine. So the first and foremost, seriously, I wasn't aware about anything regarding aero modeling until unless I joined NCC. And as everyone thought NCC is all about army, even I also had assumption of that only back then when I started my NCC journey. So I joined army, which was within the campus in my college. But sooner the later, I got to know that there will be different other wings also, like Navy and Air Force. That's where I went for a you can say this as a competition, uh, where people compete each other based on your physical fitness, and that's how we got selected for air wing. And I shifted from army to air wing And after joining Air Wing, what happened is I came to know like there are other competitions also, other competitions in the sense where we need to compete other units with specific skill sets of microlight flying. Microlight flying is something where you fly within the I mean within inside the aircraft. So that is also being offered by a training which is free. And the second one is aeromodeling, and third one is skeet shooting like the Rathod who won the medals, you know, for India in Olympics. That is skeet fly. I mean skeet shooting. So we have skeet shooting also. Then we can also participate through drill. Whereas I picked air modeling, and I didn't know that it is that expensive. I thought it is just an opportunity where I can enhance my skills. That is what my initial thought were. And apart from aeromodeling flying, we also have something called static. So now I'm going to go through you some more videos where you will get to know in depth of what I'm speaking about different aircrafts and different other things. So this is how the engine is going to start.
Did you also work in these kind of projects?
Sorry? If you see, people are trying to choke. So this is a 2.5 cc engine, and this is propeller, and people, one finger is holding something. This is a choke. You need to choke the engine first with a finger. Then if it starts, okay. Or else you can use this starter. Can you guys see the pointer on the screen? To test the engine whether it is good or not, what we will do is we'll try to tilt the model after it started, so that we'll understand the speed. If it reduced, we will try to adjust the needle again. And this is the place where you can see a tank which holds the fuel. And just asking, are you guys able to see the pointer, my pointer? Hello.
Yes, uncle, we can.
Yeah, we can see the one.
Okay, so this is a fuel in bottle. In bottles, can you see? So this is a fuel where we will try to fill this tank.
What is this?
So people are getting ready for takeoff. So in takeoff, you need to always pull your model towards yourself so that it will not go inside. a good pilot always try to control the lift of the aircraft. If he is not good, what happens is the model gets straight in the up, and it will come to a stall position and it directly hits the ground. So you need to be very active. Fraction of seconds you have where you need to control it and get into a level flighting. So I was talking about the microLED. So this is called microLED. The one you can see on the screen. This is called microLED. This person is commanding officer of the NCC unit. He must be from wing commander rank or more or less to that rank, wing commander. These people have come from different experiences. Like these people might have flight the real aircrafts, could be a transport, could be a cargo, could be a fighter aircraft also. So this is the second aircraft. This is the second aircraft where in this you don't have any aerobatics. You just have a level flight where you're competing with your competitors to get your shorties. It's not about shorty. Shorty is something where shorty is called as one takeoff and one landing. A full flight is called a shorty. And here what happens is once you understand that your speed is maximum and you're able to fly between the height of 6 feet to 5 feet, you can raise your hand and people start counting 10 laps. The average of 10 laps, your timer is what makes you a prize winner. This is how I was got. I mean, in this particular flying, I got my first gold medal for when I was competing for Andhra Pradesh. If you observe, the model is very small because of we don't want to keep too much weight on it so that the time can be reduced. Did you observe? He raised his hand. now.
Hello, Prabhu uncle.
Yes,
Yeah, Vimal here. What is this thing called?
these are called control and models.
Control and
Control and speed. You can see control and flying. You can see this. Control and flying is called the model. The flying, this way of flying is called control and where you have a lines, you have a strings which is connected to the elevator of the model. Okay. Earlier he was pulling, but if you see now he's flying normally. So I mean he has completed his 10 laps so that he has come to his normal pose. So this is one of, so this is how we were trained back then initially for competitions. And here if you have any specific questions I can go for it, or else
Yeah, maybe we can understand what skills about the skills what you already had, or you were interested in this acro modeling, aero modeling in childhood, or it just happened as an accident. You want to share a little about it, and we can also open for questions. Anyone has any questions, you can ask.
sure. So
Prabhu uncle.
yeah, Vimal.
The there's no any button or switch for on in that. Only the thread.
This in this controller you don't have any buttons or switches, whereas for RC model you have something called a remote and a receiver. So I'm going to show you that also in another video. So
Okay.
just be any other questions. Okay, as Leela asked me how I got into this, or my any prior skills have helped me in this. So for that I need to share one of, not one, many of my experiences when it comes to my childhood. So during my childhood I was mostly exploring kind of a thing, where my father used to do service for his scooter. I was observing a lot. There was a there were a lot of tools within our house where we were exploring electricity or mixers or even fans, fixing the tube lights. So those things I have been into it, but I never thought like that can also help me in aeromodeling, because aeromodeling is not just only flying. The biggest challenge is the amount of time you spend within the unit or within that space where you have to prepare everything in advance. Like this is ground. Before coming here, you need to prepare the entire caddy. Caddy means the need, I mean, the useful things where you can fly safe, because in when you're flying the model might get crashed. You need to have a backup plan, like you need to hold at least minimum 1 2 extra flights kind of a thing. So if you observe in one of the video, people have carrying extra models also. If you see here, if you see here, you can see 1 2, and this one in there 3. I mean 3 models they were carrying. So you need to prepare every model, and this is called caddy. In this we have tools, fuel, battery backup, and starter also. What we'll do is a day before only, we will charge the battery. We will ensure that the fuel quantity is enough for enough shorties where we can practice. And every day it is like initial days, you tend to break models because when you're learning maneuvers, you don't know how to handle it, even though your instructor is capable enough to control that, but until unless you break or you make that mistakes, you don't understand how to overcome. So this is completely a practical experience which I was going through, and that helped me a lot in other aspects down the line, how to take risks, or planning your schedule, or design thinking kind of a thing, and also how to innovate the flying model, because here you're flying with a stretch hand, but whereas you can also fly in other different modes also. So that is how we explored certain things. And here I'm going to show you something called what is handle. Can you see? I mean, someone asking about the strings. No, this is a string. This is a wire string, and this is called handle. So this thumb finger, wherever it is there, that if you press it, it is up, and this is down. So only with this we will control it. On the other side, you can have an adjustment where I'm not sure whether you guys can see or not. No, sir, never. Okay, so here if you can see, there is two cranks attached to it where you can adjust the up and down movement of the elevator. So this is one type of. Okay. And then nose. Tail down. Okay. And then nose. How to remove that? Okay. So if you see, this tail plane has something called a joint. I mean, joint in the sense, it is not directly fixed. It is a joint where you have up and down movements. And also, if you see a thin white color here, that is a rod which is connecting the cables from here to this part. Then leave the. If you see here, that is lines. These are the lines. These are the strings which are connected here, and it is connected from the mid of the aircraft and connected to the back tail plane. Any questions here? So,
Okay, Prabhu, now we can, okay, this is the last model.
there are other two things also. So,
okay. Yeah, it's 11:40. So we thought we will take some questions and then little about.
Yes. So I'll show this RC1. So most of you guys would be really interested to know about this part. So this is RC. I mean, this is a receiver.
This is the aircraft. So when I turn on this thing, I found that battery is totally okay. Green indicator is okay, but now every control is okay.
In this tail plane, you have three different things. One is rudder, this is elevator, and this overall is called tail plane. So rudder is used during landings, and in big aircraft, it is also used to to position your aircraft for the runway. I mean, when you want to tilt your model to align with the landing part, landing strip, you need to come a little left or right. So that is how this rudder is going to help you.
Elevator, aileron, okay. Throttle is also
This is where the throttle is controlled. I mean, here is the one generally people will use for choking off the engine. This is globe leg.
okay.
Prabhu uncle, I thought that is engine.
Yes, it is engine, and I'm
Oh.
talking specifically one of the part which is called throttle. So
Oh.
how do you cut it down your throttle so that your model can fly after that also?
Okay.
Use the aileron, see what happening.
So these are called, this is mid plane. So in this mid plane, you have a ailerons. Ailerons means when one side it is down, the opposite side will be up. This is used for taking turns, for taking side bank, or I mean either left or right. So with this movement, you can operate your aircraft.
Sorry, this one.
I guess this guy is showing again a control and flying. So he's talking about loops. Loop in the sense you can do a circles.
Prabhu uncle,
Yeah.
I have one doubt. Before it's going to fly, why they are spinning the fan?
I didn't get it.
Before it's going to it's going to glide. That time they are spinning the fan with hand. No, why they are doing that one?
It is not spinning. I mean, are you talking about before starting the engine?
Yes.
So that is called choke.
Yeah,
Choke.
that one I'm asking.
Choke.
Oh, choke. Yeah, I know, choke.
Yeah. So if you when you choke it, the piston before getting a fire, you try to release the, you try to release the input of a fuel. So
Yes.
that's how it gets fired. And now aircraft, if you see, this is a reverse flying.
Okay. Yeah, I know what is choke. The choke in the bike, no?
Till now he was flying in a normal position, but now he is going to go for a reverse flying. This is one of the best skills I can say. When you can make your model fly in reverse condition also, you're trying to think in a way from the opposite direction where your elevator movement up becomes down and down becomes up. So that is how you control the model, and you tend to do maneuvers also, like you can go for loops, you can go for figure of eight, you can go for climb and dive, a lot of things.
Okay, Prabhu, we can stop the video. It's we can open for the questions round. Huh?
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
So I'll connect this last thing. This is called static flying. So in this static flying, this is used only for showcase purpose, like air shows. In air shows, what happens is, in static modeling, what we do is we only go for real aircrafts to make a miniatures, and the dimensions will be as similar as to the real aircraft, but with smaller sizes. And for you, I'll show you one of the air show kind of a thing. I mean, static flying. 1 minute. Yes, this one. all these all these aircrafts has built from the scratch, uh, and everything is done by either the cadet himself, the student, or the cadet himself with the help of instructor. And it happens it happens during your trainer with instructor, but whereas when you're going for competition, it is a almost 6 day journey where you have to build from the scratch. I'll show you another video where you can see like how everything is built from the scratch, and this is too long one. Maybe I'll share a link for this so that you guys can go through.
Yeah, you can share these videos on Discord if anybody is interested. They can see. Since we are out of time, it's already 9:50. Yeah, we'll move on to the questions round.
Yes, people can
Yeah,
ask questions.
yeah. You can stop the video.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's also time for us to connect with you.
Sure.
Prabhu
Yes.
uncle, they will make you saw video now, no? They will make that plane in wood.
Yes,
The wood will be so heavy now how it is flying.
good question. So we have something called a balsa wood, which is imported, which is not Indian. So
Uh,
it is very lightweight, and you still have that firmness. And for getting firm, what we do is we dope, and we will put it in for sunlight. So the inside particle gets much thicker. With that help,
really a lot disturbance are.
sorry,
Okay. Yeah. You continue.
yeah, that's it. I mean, it's called balsa wood. You can Google it. A lot of information.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah. Anything? How do you feel that you have flight all these you have been worked on all these models, and you have been part of it, and you have also been part of competition on while these. So, what's your takeaway from these? You want to share?
Sure. So the first thing is all about preparation. When I say preparation, the interesting part, especially when it comes to flying, is you need to fly these models in the nil winds, and nil winds happen only during the early days, early morning of the day, like between 5 to 6:30 max. After that, your wind will be gusty. When your winds are gusty, your models may tend to behave something which is not commanded by you. So that for that, what we do is we wake up very early in the morning, like 4 o'clock, 4:30, and prepare ourselves with uniform. Then go to NCC unit, where again you pour everything into the canter. Canter is a van where we used for transportation. So once you reach to the, this space, you can either fly it in an empty ground, or else for us, what we had is we had a international airport, and that permits us before 7 o'clock flying. So we have taken a lot of permissions, and reaching out to that spot all helped me into something where you can say a disciplined person, uh, in a sense of trying to follow that orders or commanding command, hierarchy, following the hierarchy and procedures. Everything was simply amazing. But when it comes to competition, it's all about your thinking and your ability of your calmness. Why I mention calmness is because uh, if I want to share one of my experiences, just before the real bigger competition happened in All India Voice and Nick, my model broke into two pieces. Exactly in the middle, it got broke, and the engine fall down on the ground. So ground means lot of sand particles tend to get inside your compressor kind of a thing. So at that moment, if you panic, you're out of the competition. But because of these practical experiences day in and out helped me repair that model entirely. The same model, the broken model, where I used a specific glue, which is instant, and also I have cleaned the entire engine and try to adjust that fuel needle perfectly and get that things done in a very shorter span. Checked how the engine is running completely, whether the peak is matching what earlier it used to be, and all these things helped me. These trainings were helped me to crack that competition and won a second place, which is a silver medal. I mean, leave it about. I mean, we had a competition with other 16 direct race, and out of 16 direct race with a broken model, right before the competition, I won second place, which is silver medal. Is something among us achievement for us, because normally only it doesn't happen. And the best part of the innovation is I have entirely changed the flying process. Like if you see one of the guy was pulling the model, no, he was trying to use his muscle power so that his model travels more faster than the uh, current engine power. But whereas what I have done is I have reduced the circle size. This happened because of conversations with my instruction, trying to understand how other competitors were doing or how other competitors were flying their models. I was doing a lot of brainstorming things with my instructor where I got to know the whole process. So when we fly the model, we tend to complete 10 laps with a certain distance. Whereas we have cut down, we have shortcutted that distance and flown the model, which is one of the bigger shift or change in entire flying subject. So that's
Yeah.
the,
I think
the
Prabhu, we can
innovation.
keep hearing about your journey, about all these. There
Yeah.
is lots and lots of learning from what you have been sharing, like how in the time of situations, how you handle these competition and other things. Yeah, I think we are reaching
Just
the
like,
end of
yeah, it's just like
anyone.
if you fly like next shorty, if you until, I mean, that helped me a lot. If you feel that it is a competition, you're not going to win. It is just another day practice that you're giving for yourself or something like that. That's how the shift entire happened for me in life also. That is what helping me, like if any bigger task have come in front of me, I feel that it is just another day of my routine, kind of a thing.
That's a very nice takeaway from you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just want to close with one thing we want to share to the community, like any one word or one thought about your journey.
So you have a lot of videos already in the YouTube. You can go through this all videos, and if you want to prepare your own model, you need not to build from the scratch at this level, because at this level you need a lot of tools, you need a lot of uh, carpentry skills, kind of a thing, and also a lot of engineering work also you need to focus on. Whereas you can start preparing some gliders, kind of a thing, and those things you need to buy, or you can prepare from different bamboo sticks or something like that. So gliding is one thing which I suggest for people to grow. It is very simple, glider. And if any specific questions you have, you can always question me using any social media platform, either WhatsApp or community or something.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing us about your passion and giving us idea about how does aero modeling work and what are the different types, and also your experience, the what you have been sharing. It's very interesting. So to close with, let's all just recollect from the last 1 hour what all different words you have you have been hearing, you have been seeing the videos. Something that was catchy for you or something that is connecting for you, you can type that in the chat window to close. Or you can also share on mic. For me, it was another day of training. A competition is nothing but another day of training. That is something which one thing which was catchy for me. It was one.
You can also type different models, model name, or the tools, whatever you have seen, like caddy, fuel, tank, anything. Cutting player, nose player, everything is part of aero modeling.
That's fine. You can also, if you want to really build a model, Prapun is there. He will help us, and you can connect with him on Discord. Yeah. So the next club is starting. So we will have to close. Anyone wants to share anything? So before we end, Prapun,
Let's see.
anything you want to share?
I'm done. I'm in too much for now because I doubt how much people have
Yeah,
remembered.
that's fine. Thank you, Prapun, for joining us and giving an exposure about the aero modeling. It
Yeah.
was very new for me. Yeah.
Bye
you.
all. Thank you so much.
Bye,
for watching.
uncle.
Bye.
No, it's cooking club, no? Club, no?
Yes, it's cooking club.
Yeah.
People in cooking club can continue, and
Okay.
others can leave. Bye-bye.
Bye. I have a question. Do we have to be in our kitchen for cooking club?